Hello everyone. In the previous class, we have discussed about the popularity of Verilog HDL, then importance of HDLs and trends in HDLs. In today's class, we are going to discuss hierarchical modeling concepts. So before start the discussion of hierarchical modeling concepts, we can discuss the details of the Verilog language. So we must first understand the basic hierarchical modeling concepts in the digital design. So the whoever is the designer, he or she must use a good design methodologies for the efficient Verilog HDL based designs. Design methodologies. So basically there are two different type of design methodologies are available. So those are, the first one is a top down design methodology and the second one is bottom up design methodology. The figure shows the top down design methodology. As you can see from the figure, it consists of a top level block, then it is going to be subdivided into sub blocks. There are 4 sub blocks and each sub block again divided into number of leaf cells. That is, in the top down design methodology, first we are going to define the top level block. So here whatever the block that is named top level block is the top block, and we are going to identify the different types of the sub blocks within the top level block. So here, as in general, there are 4 different sub blocks are shown: sub block number 1, sub block number 2, 3 and 4. Further, these each and every sub blocks are going to be divided into the leaf cell. The leaf cell is nothing but it is a last cell which is not going to be further divided. That means that is going to be a very basic cell. So that is going to be a last cell within the design methodology. So the figure shows the top down design process. Similar to that one, this figure shows the bottom up design methodology. So in the bottom up design methodology, you can observe the arrow marks here. It is going from the bottom towards the upper side, that is towards the top level block. That means in a bottom up design methodology, we first identify the basic building blocks that are available to us. That means, for example, the gates kind of blocks, which is a very basic building block. So the leaf cell that represent a basic building block here. So those number of basic building blocks are going to be connected together and we can going to create a macro cell. So there are multiple macro cells are available here. Macro cell number 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is, we are going to build a bigger cells by using the leaf cells. The leaf cells are the basic building blocks. Using the basic building blocks, that is leaf cells, we are going to build a bigger cells. So using these building blocks, so those are called as macro cells. So these cells are then used for higher level blocks until we are going to build the top level block in the design. So using the number of macro cells, we are going to build a one particular top level block. So unless and until it is not going to reach a top level block, we are going to building these type of blocks. So this is nothing but a bottom up design methodology in which from the leaf cell or from the basic building block, we are going to keep on building a bigger number of bigger blocks and go on reaching to the top level unless and until it becomes a top level block. So typically a combination of these two, that is a top down and bottom up, can also be used. That is, design architects define the specification of the top level block, and logic designers decide how the design should be structured by breaking up functionality into blocks and sub blocks. So each block and sub blocks are going to be divided here. At the same time, circuit designers are going to be designed optimized circuit, or very regular circuits for a leaf level cells, or very basic building block cells. So they build a higher level cells by using these leaf cells. Then the flow from the bottom to top and top to bottom, the flow meets at an intermediate point where the switch level circuit designers have created a library of leaf cells by using switches, and the logic level designers have designed from the top down until all modules are defined in terms of leaf cells. So to explain this, or to illustrate these hierarchical modeling concepts, let us consider the design of a negative edge triggered 4-bit ripple carry counter. So that is this one, a 4-bit ripple carry counter. So why this is called as 4-bit ripple carry counter? Because it consists of 4 flip-flops, 4 T flip-flops. What is the meaning of ripple carry counter? That means it is a synchronous counter in which only the first flip-flop is going to be applied a direct clock pulse, and the remaining flip-flops are going to be used a clock pulse from the previous output, either Q output or Q bar output. Here in this case, the Q output of the previous flip-flop is connected as the clock pulse to the next flip-flop. So this is the structure of the ripple carry counter. So here this figure shows the 4-bit ripple carry counter because there are 4 T flip-flops are used. So the ripple carry counter shows in the figure is made up of negative edge triggered toggle flip-flop or T flip-flop. So why negative edge? Because as you can see in the figure, the clock pulse, which consists of a bubble. A bubble represents a negative edge triggered flip-flop. So each of the T flip-flops can be made from the negative edge triggered D flip-flop. Remember here, each and every T flip-flop can be made up of again a negative edge triggered D flip-flop and the inverter. So assuming Q bar output is not available on the D flip-flop. So that is shown in this figure. As you can see here, the T flip-flop, one T flip-flop is made up of one D flip-flop and an inverter. The Q output is inverted and applied to the input, that is D, and also we have a reset pin. We can see the truth table here. When the reset pin is high or reset button is high, irrespective of the present output, that is Qn, whether it is 1 or 0, the next state output Qn plus 1 is always 1 because reset input is high. So when reset input is 0, so present state of the output, if it is 0, its next state will be a toggled output. As it is a T flip-flop, the present state and next state are inverted here. That is Qn is 0, Qn plus 1 is 1 when the reset is 0, and when Qn is 1, Qn plus 1 is 0. This is the truth table of the one T flip-flop. Thus, the ripple carry counter is going to be built in a hierarchical fashion by using a building blocks. So the diagram for the design hierarchy is shown in this figure. That is the design hierarchy of a 4-bit ripple carry counter. Here ripple carry counter block is a top level block. So in the previous discussion we have discussed the top down methodology and the bottom up methodology. So here the ripple carry counter is a top level module, so which is further subdivided into number of T flip-flops. As here it is a 4-bit ripple carry counter, we require a 4 T flip-flops. So here T flip-flops, TFF0, TFF1, TFF2 and TFF3 are the sub blocks of the ripple carry counter, which is a top level block. Now, as we have seen, the T flip-flop is constructed by using a D flip-flop and one inverter. So D flip-flop and an inverter, these are the basic building blocks, or in general it is called as leaf cell. So these D flip-flop and inverter cannot be further divided. That's why these are the leaf cells. So each sub block of T flip-flop consists of the D flip-flop and a inverter gate. So D flip-flop and inverter gate are going to be act as a leaf cell. So all the four sub blocks of T flip-flops consist of one D flip-flop and one inverter each. So like this the design hierarchy is done. So in a top-down design methodology, first we have to specify the functionality of the ripple carry counter, which is the top level block. Then we implement the counter with T flip-flops. We build the T flip-flop from the D flip-flop and an additional inverter gate. Thus we break bigger blocks into smaller building sub-blocks until we decide that we cannot break up the blocks any further. A bottom-up methodology flows in the opposite direction. So this is the top level methodology. In the bottom-up methodology, just we do the reverse thing. First we use the basic building blocks, that is D flip-flop and inverter. By using this one D flip-flop and one inverter, we can construct a one T flip-flop. Like that we can construct a number of T flip-flops, again by connecting those T flip-flops into one block, which is called as a ripple carry counter. This is a bottom-up design methodology. A bottom-up methodology flows in the opposite direction. We combine small building blocks and build a bigger building blocks. For example, we could build a D flip-flop and OR gates, or we could build a customized D flip-flop from the transistors. Thus the bottom-up flow meets the top-down flow at the level of the D flip-flop. So if you have any doubts regarding this class, you can post your comments in the Google Classroom. Thank you for watching the video.